So, good afternoon, everyone. It's really a big pleasure to be here today. It's my first time in Oslo. So, my name is Rita Margarido. I lead the energy and location strategy team for the Nordics and the Benelux region at Google. And I've been at Google for the past 7.5 years. And my background is on sustainability, which is also my passion. I'm here today as we are in the middle of a major digital transformation with AI, but also with the digitalization of society. And Norway is already a digital frontrunner with huge opportunities on AI in terms of competitiveness and innovation, and also to solve big problems like climate change. At the same time, all this transformational era is on us. Google is also increasing its footprint, it's growing, and it's really important for us also to reinvent ourselves in the tech world, and in particular in the infrastructure world, as our data center footprint grows. As such, today I want to take some time to talk about Google's commitment to keep growing sustainable, in particular in Norway, how we strive to be a good neighbor, and also to discuss a little bit about our ambitions in Norway, and moreover, the importance of collaboration moving forward with what we have ahead as an industry. And so, to build a little bit of context, Google is a company that serves billions of users through its core products around the world, and they all run in our data centers. Every time we look at our emails, if we try to use Google Maps to go somewhere, or if we try to search a recipe in the internet, those services will run in our data centers. And so we need that infrastructure to be in place and to be super reliable in order to serve our customers. And this will keep being even more relevant as artificial intelligence is coming in, and its full potential it's explored. For us, I talk a lot about our AI and machine learning, also because we see this as a major transformation for society, and its potential is unthinkable, and it may be one of the most profound technological changes that we'll be see moving forward, all paired with what we have seen with the internet revolution and with the mobile revolution. And so, just a sneak peek of how a Google data center looks like. It's really rows and rows of machines, of servers, running the services, and backed up by a very reliable and ultra-efficient cooling system. Still, coming back a little bit to artificial intelligence and its potential and how we are using it in Google, I bring here an example. For example, I flew here today to come to this talk, and one of the largest environmental impacts of the industry is it's really contrails. They are responsible for approximately 35% of the impact of flying. And Google research joined forces within the airlines industry in the past, and they have been working together to use data, lots of data, from satellite images to climate data to other weather profiles to route paths, to figure out and to provide through a tool data to pilots so they can choose their flight paths to avoid the formation of contrails. And so, as all this need keeps growing, I wanted to focus a little bit on our commitments as a good corporate citizen, and also our commitment for a carbon-free future. At Google, we really strive to be a good neighbor and to have a positive impact in the communities that we operate. And therefore, we make significant, and we are making more and more significant investments in energy efficiency, in renewable energy, and also maximizing our economic and our social impact in the locations that we are based in. And this is really important for the way we select locations for our infrastructure, because we are always looking into at this point in order to find the best locations that can give us the best outcome. And so, how do we do this? The truth is, the greenest energy is really the energy that we do not use. And what we have seen, the entire industry has been doing great progress. And what we know is really that although there is an exponential growth in internet traffic and data center workloads, the energy consumption of data centers has been growing quite steadily, which means, and which is a result of the major efforts the industry and all data center players have been putting in efficiency. From a Google perspective, we take efficiency like a little bit like a competition. We have a global fleet of data centers around the planet, and we are currently trailing at a 1.1 PUE value, which is the power usage effectiveness of our data centers. It's a measure of efficiency, while the average industry is around 1.5, 1.6. And it's really a little bit like a competition between facilities, where the teams spread out around the globe are championing sustainability and efficiency initiatives in order to maximize efficiency. And as such, as of 2024, we see that we can do 3 times more. We can have 3 times more computing power with the same amount of energy that we were using 5 years ago. But at the same time, we know this cannot solve everything, and as such, since 2007, we have been carbon neutral. In 2017, we achieved a major milestone to have our 100% of our operations matched with renewable energy, basically a one-to-one match with our electrical consumption and our investments in renewable energy. And we have done this by signing over 80 PPAs across the globe in a total of over 10 gigawatts. And here you can see one example, which is in Norway, where we signed an onshore wind farm PPA since 2017 for 160 megawatts. And it is also important to know that these investments that you make, we call them additional, which means that we only select projects that would not be possible to happen without Google's investment. So we don't just buy renewable energy certificates. But we knew that still this wouldn't be sufficient, because the sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow. And it means that at some point in the days, we are still drawing brown energy to feed our data centers. And that's why in 2020, we made the commitment to be 24/7 carbon-free energy by 2030, which means it's a moonshot. We know it's going to be challenging, and it has collaboration at the heart of this goal, where the goal became much more local, because the goal is really to green the grids that feed the energy to our data centers, which means that we need to look from an holistic approach to the grids we are operating in and find innovative solutions to green those grids, and work with our utility partners and with the industry partners to find the best solutions to help greening the grids. And so far, we were able to. Our progress is promising, and we already have 4 sites that run at over 90% carbon-free energy year-round. Also, locally, it's really important to us to understand how can we actually provide positive impact in the local communities that we operate, and that's why we have been exploring how we can provide waste heat to the local communities and businesses through our facilities. And we recently announced our first project in Finland, Hamina, where our waste heat will be able to cover 80% of the heating needs of the local community. And so now a little bit about why Google in Norway and why Norway. So for us, Norway is an incredible, important country from a data center perspective. And announcing and building the facility in Skien has been a moment of pride to us and a very happy moment. And we have been in Norway with Google offices for a while, and we see Norway as a strategic partner for the future as well. From a location strategy on why Norway, when we do site selection and when we decide to locate our infrastructure facilities in a certain location, there are critical factors, which I've mentioned already through the presentation. And they are the access to energy, the access to renewable energy, and the potential for a carbon-free future. Also, the access for a skilled workforce, the country's stability, the drive for innovation, and in Norway also the sound policy environment for the data center industry. And so this has been really important to drive our investments in Norway. And it's really, I want to reiterate how it's important also for everything we do to ensure that we are well accepted in our local communities and that we can thrive together with our communities, and that they also thrive as we grow. And so we look into this not just from an environmental perspective, but also from a social and a social impact and an economic impact perspective. And that is really why collaboration is at the heart of everything, and that's why Norway has been so good and such a catalyst for our investments, and the partnerships that we have established locally are the driver also for the development and the construction of our data center in Skien that we hope to see operating in 2026. And just to give a little overview of the economic impact, we recently announced the investment of 600 million euro, and we estimate that the announcement will also represent an economic impact of up to $680 million dollars or euros, close to that. And this will be achieved through mainly a positive impact in construction jobs, in IT jobs, and in services like hotels, restaurants. And it represents some thousands of construction jobs, but also up to 100 permanent jobs at the facility with this initial investment. And here, just a sneak peek of the facility, and I will finish with a little drone video. I just wanted to reinforce that for us, this is a major long-term investment. We carefully selected Norway for the investment based on the very interesting opportunities that lie ahead for growth and for innovation, and in particular for partnerships. But of course, we also understand that there will be challenges. And that's why collaboration needs to be at the heart of everything we do, and predictability will be key for the investment. We know that the DC industry it's a fast-moving industry. It's a very recent industry that behaves and has, for example, in energy, has different energy profiles in terms of energy consumption from traditional industries. So it requires lots of collaboration, transparency, and dialogue, which we see here in Norway, to work together to find solutions that allow for the industry to thrive, but at the same time also allow for society to thrive and to meet all its needs. And basically that's all I had to say to you today. Let me just quickly share some. So we're just preparing the ground. Yes. Maybe a little bit too slow. And that's it. My combination is standard. That was my modern agency. And that's it. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you, Rita. So I think we have some minutes, so you're open for questions. I'm sure there are people here wanting to ask some questions, so please raise your hands. Anyone who wants to ask Rita about something? No one? Okay, Jon.
I cannot let the chance go. So, hi Rita, Jon Graverock from Bulk Infrastructure.
Hi.
So, nice to meet you, and thanks for paving the way also for the data center industry in Norway in general terms. So, I just wonder, could you say a bit more maybe about, at least what I observed from you and from some of the other hyperscalers peers to you is that it's a bit of a different and maybe more humble attitude towards the local communities these days than what it was maybe a few years ago, which I think is super because it helps the industry and it helps you guys and it helps us. But could you maybe share a bit more, how you've derived to that thinking and what will be some of the leading thoughts on how to really team up with local societies going forward?
Thank you so much for the question. I think as you mentioned, our facilities are quite big and they grow over time, and we set our data centers most of the times in small communities, often deprived communities, and what we learned with time as well is that we only thrive if this community thrives, because we are an industry that is growing, and as we grow, we need a workforce. We need a skilled workforce. We need people who are proud of having Google in their neighborhoods and that feel proud of being part of that community. And so that has been critical for us. And so in terms of examples, I can give examples. For example, both in Amina, in Finland, or in the Netherlands, or in Belgium, we have multiple initiatives. So we partner with schools, professional schools, universities, to create curriculum that supports the creation of skills that can be transferable to data centers, but that can also be used, for example, in the naval industry, or in industries that are also important locally. So there is plenty of choice for the local community. At the same time, we learned that our facilities are so big that we have so many services that we need, that we saw this spontaneous ecosystem of entrepreneurs popping up in these locations where we are, with small companies being set up, for example, to take care of the landscape in our facility, or to take care of deliveries, or the catering, or security, many dimensions of it. And then, because we also want to contribute and we want to be a part of the community, we really set up this grants program. It started, or this, it's a fund program It started small to understand how could they help local organizations to implement their projects. But it kept growing and growing, and in the Netherlands, for example, I think we have invested approximately 4 million. I may be wrong with the number, it may be a little bit less or more, just in supporting local organizations to implement their projects. And often these projects that are implemented are supporting the young generations and preparing them for the future and for digitalization. Which is super important for us to continue as a business, because it's becoming more and more difficult to find the right skills and the right skill set. An electrical engineer and mechanical engineer, they're extremely difficult to find these days. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, any more? Any interest? I would say for my own part, you have an open invitation to participate together with the business association and all its members on research and innovation on the energy reuse, heat reuse. That's really what differs us fundamentally from the data centers on the continent, and is that most of the data centers are in rural areas where you don't have access to district heating, or what would be the go-to solution for heat reuse. So we have applied together with one scientific institute in Norway. We have applied for the Research Council to get funding, but of course, a little bit is we have to contribute a bit with cash, but also with in-kind money, which is basically we could really help both your cash, of course, but also your expertise and all the strength you can provide through innovation and innovative solutions. So hereby the invitation is handed over to you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Ok, alle sammen. Vi gir Rita en ny klapp.